welcome to another episode of the Board Game Blitz with the Player's Aid. I'm Alexander.
And I'm Grant.
And today we're taking a look at GMT's Wing Leader Supremacy, which is designed by Lee Brimacombe Wood. You can actually read an interview about this game on our blog that Grant conducted with Lee. Very interesting. Tells all about the game. We just played our first scenario, and I want to give you our first impressions of what this game is and what it's like. So, it's a tactical game in the sky. It's how I felt about it, which is a very, very new style of game for me. And the unique thing about the Wing Leader series is it's almost like a 2D platformer, the way that you're looking at it. And most things like X-Wing, other flying games I played, it's top down and you're moving around. This you're looking at it from the horizon and you have a profile view of the airplanes. So you get some of the big loops and maneuvers, and you're going up and down altitudes. Very, very interesting. I really liked the system, although it's very, very complicated.
Yeah, we've played Bomber Command a couple of times. We really enjoy Bomber Command.
Yes.
Bomber Command is also designed by Lee Wood, and it's a different type of game, a little more hidden movement, pre-planning. But this game really, just like you said, it's tactical. This is a tactical game in the sky. I do enjoy the rules about the 3D modeling. There are rules for turns and head-on combat versus rear combat. So it's something that you've always got to think about. Where's my positioning? How can I gain an advantage?
Yeah.
And this was our first scenario, right? These videos are intended to be our first feelings. And I felt like the rules were very, very deep.
Yes.
And somewhat clunky, only because we didn't fully study through them.
No.
We tried to put it on the table and play through. So we ran into some problems with making sure modifiers were correct and rules. But I think in general we got it down where we were starting to understand.
Yeah. I read the rules very briefly over the past couple days. And, I had an idea of how things should look, but there's a lot of different nuances and different bits and pieces, and that's, to me, is very stereotypical of Lee's games, where, there's the detail in there, which is very rich once you get it down, and gives you a good game experience, but jumping in was, jumped into the deep end on this.
Yeah, we did, and maybe we should have done a little more preview, but sometimes we just have to put it out on the table and try it out.
Yeah, just to try it. But what I got out of it was very, very fun. My Japanese fighters were on intercept missions, so it was planting vectors for them to fly through, and then trying to contact, and you tally enemy units, and then you just fly towards them and try and shoot them down. That was, the planning aspect of that and carrying out your maneuvers was very fun.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed that, and I thought the combat was very, very good. I thought the combat was very balanced as well. Because in any combat, you've got to have some kind of a random factor, whether it's a card draw or rolling dice. This is dice rolling, but there's so many different modifiers. Again, something which I found in Bomber Command. Lots and lots of different modifiers. Some of them very situational, but they're balanced, and it shows the care that he's put into designing these kind of games. So Grant rolled just awfully.
Snake Eyes
the whole game.
Once, I think a 1 and a 2 a couple of times, but it was interesting. You mentioned balance.
Yeah.
Looking in the OOBs for the scenario, I had, I believe, 3 Exparta pilots and 4 veterans. You had...
I had 3 veterans and 3 greens.
Right.
And I rolled extremely well,
right.
Conversely. And at the end, we ended up with the same number of losses, basically.
Yeah. I had 3.5, you had 3. So
it wasn't completely swingy on a die roll.
Right.
I don't think it was.
It was interesting to me that giving me a little more experienced pilots and a couple better pilots, aces basically, helped me to mitigate some of those losses. I turned a couple of losses into stragglers, which isn't as bad. That's basically half a loss. I was able to do that with some dice rolling. I rolled okay on that. And just very interesting. I felt like my planes were better,
yes.
Which is odd to me. I've always felt like, and maybe this was early Zeros because they were 1943.
Yeah, and they were an early variant of
so they weren't as good. But I know later in the war we started to struggle with that quite a bit. and they started to outclass a little. But I felt like my planes were better. I had gyroscope targeting. My pilots were a little better, and it really evened out. I felt like it was very balanced.
Yeah.
Which is good. I think a lot of times scenarios, especially in a system you don't understand, either one guy or the other is going to do really well. I feel like this one we both did about as well as we could be expected on our first play.
Something that is a little... It is what it is, that's what I'll say. Is the board is a big blue board. You can watch the unboxing video, see a bit more of the components. The board's a big, massive blue board. There's nothing pretty to look at on it. The counters, love the counters, because I love aircraft. And you just you put down some cloud markers, and you imagine, okay, there's a line of cloud in between. So there's not a lot of clutter on the board, but, it also looks quite sparse at times.
Yeah, the cloud markers really, and you don't put multiple of them in a line. You kind of just put point A to point B, and in between it's just assumed that there's the line of broken clouds or light clouds or whatever the other wispy. So that was interesting. Yeah, the board, when I was taking pictures, it's not really much to look at. The counters are great. Some of my counters were really, really cool. Enjoyed those, particularly the Corsairs. I think look awesome, and that's a neat thing. These fighter kind of information cards are great. They not only have the tactical information that you need, from speed to climbing to power. They also have this great background information on the back. Both Alexander and I enjoy that depth and detail because we want to learn as well about different things as we play these games, and we've learned a lot over the years as we've played them. But
I think probably my favorite thing about this game is actually the wing displays and the battle boards, which keep all of the bookkeeping of your different squadrons and flights off the map. It reduces what would be an unbelievable amount of clutter to having them off the board and just having a reference to each of the planes. Okay, this guy over here in this combat, okay, he's an expert, but he's got a straggle or a loss, he's broken, and he's also diving. It just keeps things off the board, and I'm always a big fan of that, and this does it in a very clean and easy way, and the boxes are big enough where you can put quite a few chits in them.
And that's actually a little reminiscent of Bomber Command, because they had the group boxes on the left side of the map, which we were able to put the counters out on the board itself to understand where, and as far as where they were in the location. But then losses and infiltrations were taken. Yeah, they take so that was a good thing. The battle display I thought was very good, where we were able to put those together and really see clearly what the advantages and disadvantages are. The interesting thing also is dogfights, when unbroken units, right, in the square in the same hex after battles, they can decide to go into a dogfight. Yeah. The broken ones cannot, and they have to kind of just sit around and do something the next turn. So those dogfights were interesting. I think I like that aspect of the game. Overall, good game. I think I'm going to have to give a couple more plays to really fully understand it. Yeah. But I think I like Lee's games. Love Bomber Command. I think this one is going to be just as good, and we'll enjoy it just as much. Yeah.
If this is, if you're new to wargaming, this is quite a heavy game in that regards. We've played a lot, so I know a lot of what should be going on, but there's still a lot of rules to absorb before I can just kind of play this without having the rule book by the side. But I really enjoy what this game will become, I think.
Yeah, good game. I think I look forward towards playing it, definitely playing it again.
Awesome. Thank you very much for watching. That was the Board Game Blitz.
Thank you.